Hi Steve,
Hey Miles.
thanks for doing this interview with Victor today. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into partially sighted football?
Yeah, so Steve Daley, currently the head coach of the Partially Sighted Futsal team. Previously was the captain. Became visually impaired I was diagnosed around about 14 with cone dystrophy, Stargardt's, which I didn't know a lot about in the 1980s. So grew up in Belfast and played 11-a-side football for Glentoran until I was round about under 18s, and then realised that my vision was starting to deteriorate dramatically compared to being fully sighted. And really just moved to England when I was 17 to Loughborough College, where it was to help young people with visual impairment. One, come to terms with their eyesight, but two, try and enhance my education to look at what there is beyond probably at the time, which was football, and just fell across the Partially Sighted Futsal League when I was 17, which I didn't really know much about at the time, Miles, if I'm being honest.
What's been the most difficult thing you've had to overcome during your partially sighted football career?
I think accepting my condition is the hardest thing, really. So being fully sighted and playing Irish League football, and really the only thing I wanted to ever do was play football. So to then get diagnosed with a disability, an eye condition, then with no real education, no one in the family really knew much about it. So I think the hardest bit was accepting it, because the only person that can accept it is you. And even though your family and your friends want to support you, I think you have to come to terms with it and realise how your eye condition can be a benefit, a bonus, rather than the way I seen it when I was younger, which was a negative. And I think that is the one thing I try and do with a lot of the young players, is supporting them to be able to accept their eye condition, because it's not going to change. It's going to be with them for the rest of their life. And the sooner they can do that, the sooner they can move on with what they want to do in the real world. So I think that's been the hardest, really, Miles.
What's been your biggest achievement in partially sighted football?
Well, it depends what way you look at it. I'm proud of seeing some of these young boys become young men and progress in careers, in their life, in creating a family, in being confident in themselves. So from where I am now as the head coach, that and as the captain at the time, I take real pride to see how they have developed. From a footballing point of view, there was no greater honour than captain in England to 2 World Cup finals. It was a journey of 25 years, so to finish on the biggest game in your life was something that will live with me. I'd love to have won it as a player. Whereas now I've got a chance to help these lads achieve it, which is something I couldn't do. Just pride when I see some of the young lads become young men and just achieve stuff in their life that's not necessarily on the pitch, but what they can achieve off the pitch is probably the most proudest things to see.
What's impressed you most about this group of players?
I think I love the fact that they support each other. Band of brothers. They share a common connection, which is that they're visually impaired. And the way they just look after the next generation that comes in. So John is now the captain, and when John first came around me, he was 17. Obviously I mentor John, but now to watch John mentor someone like young Jacob and Liam is just, without even being instigated, it just happens, Miles. So the fact that they all care about each other, but the fact that they're so approachable and they want to look after all the young visually impaired people is just something that you can't force on them. They have to be able to do that. I think they've created that culture where they just care about what they're trying to achieve, but they're also focused that they want to win something. And I think that has to come and be ingrained within you.
What do you think needs to be done to get partially sighted football more well known?
Well, I think there's got to be more coverage. So I think we've got the role models. I think we just have to get them out so that other people can see them, connect with them. I think BT Sport and the FA are trying to do more from a media point of view, and this weekend is brilliant. So a lot of the lads are getting to tell their stories. I think people understanding what partially sighted and blind people can achieve, definitely at schools, in colleges, at university, the more young people that we push through the door, it opens the next door for the next young person to come through. I think some of these lads are doing it, so they're getting their coaching badges, they're becoming full-time employed, they're creating families. So that just makes other young partially sighted people realise that there's stuff beyond what they're always being told they can't do. And I think now we've got to help them and educate them that there are stuff that they can do.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start playing partially sighted football, or who might want to get into a coaching role of partially sighted football?
I would say be prepared. There's always going to be highs and lows, whether you're a coach or whether you're a player. Sometimes the lows really challenge us, make us maybe lose confidence, self-esteem. Maybe when people's confidence are already quite low, I think sometimes that would probably put people off. I just think people have to be prepared that it's going to be hard. But my view when I played was I always enjoyed it. I just did my best, and my best was, all I could ever give. But even when I finished playing in my 40s, I still want to play, and even now I would probably want to join in. But I always say be the best version of you. So whatever that is, don't try and change it. Let people get to know who you are, what you're about. And just set yourself a goal, and be honest with yourself about where you want to get to in life. And don't be afraid to ask other people to help you on your journey. All of us have got somewhere because other people have helped us on our way. And that's because we've been approachable, we've asked for support. And I think people are becoming more and more supportive around players or people with disability. And I think the more we talk about it, the more it's included, it's accepted, and we're changing people's mindset about what disabled people can actually achieve.
What are your hopes and ambitions for future tournaments?
We're desperate to win a World Cup. Desperate to win it. Probably desperate's not the right word. I think we are ambitious. I think we're realistic that we can win it. We're knocking on the door. We've been to 2 finals. We've medalled in the last 4 tournaments. Yeah, I just think if this team reaches its full potential and they peak at the right time, I think they could go on to dominate international futsal for the partially sighted. Not just once, I think they could win multiple tournaments. My job and the staff's job is we just have to get them to believe that they can. And hopefully, camps like this is what gives them that inspiration and that belief that one day they'll be world champions. And we're not afraid to talk about it. We want them to believe and dream that they will be world champions. I honestly think they will be. When it's going to be, we don't know, but we'll keep chipping away at it, and hopefully we just keep adding the levels that will get us over the line.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steve.
Pleasure, Mal.